text Jackson. I was like, fuck, this is real now. What the fuck am I doing with my life, eh? Podcast. How to make sure that these goals are bulletproof. Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel and happy new year. This is the first video of 2025 and the first one in a very long time. Let's explain this little hiatus I had unexpectedly again. My last video I posted was a training vlog and it did really well. It got lots of views and it seemed to have done really well, and I was like, this is cool, what the fuck do I do now? It was weird. I was just like, oh, I did so well, like I don't know how to make this better, so I'm just going to avoid YouTube at all costs. But a goal for mine this year, which we're going to be touching on goal setting throughout this video, is to be consistent on YouTube and to actually provide more value in a longer form video, because I post consistently on Instagram and it's all a lot of short form educational content, and that's obviously what is like, that's what Instagram is for. Whereas here I want to do a little bit more long form, like you get to know me a little bit more, I get to chat, I get to yap, which we love. So we are committed to doing that this year, and we're kicking off the first video on how to slay 2025 basically, and we're actually in Bali. Quick little backstory because I don't want to ramble for too long. So basically the whole of January we're spending here, which is just insane. This is the longest trip I've ever been on in my life. Like normally I'd go on like 2-week holidays if I'd ever gone for a long period. We are here literally just to chill, to work, to train, to eat, and to see what life actually looks like living here, because our very long-term goal, which would be in the next 1 to 2 years, would be to move somewhere, and Bali is definitely on the list. So we wanted to kind of see how we'd like pick up and set up our lives here. You know, what would training look like, what would eating look like, how would work look like, all those sorts of things. So last week was very much like a little bit more playtime, I guess. Like we did more things. It was also my birthday last week, so we went to a beach club, had a few dinners. This week and next week is probably a little bit more like how's life looking sort of vibes. So yeah, we're staying in the most incredible villa. This is probably one of the nicest villas that I've ever stayed in. It's so beautiful, so aesthetic. The content, tell me you run a fucking small business without fucking telling me when all you can think of is like, I can make content here. Anyway, I digress. But as you would have seen, the goal of this video, is to talk about goal setting and to show my process and also speak to some of the mistakes that people make that I have found as a coach for the last 4 years when it comes to goal setting, and how to make sure that these goals are bulletproof moving forward so you achieve everything you want in 2025. So firstly, it's really important to understand why it's even important to set goals, because I feel like there's this, I want to say trend, but like it's a lot of opinions are out there about like goals being silly and like we don't goal set anymore. It's like, no, shut the fuck up. Yes, we fucking do. And the reason why it's so important to set goals, because it gives you purpose to what you're actually doing. People say they struggle with consistency, they struggle with motivation, and like, yes, sometimes happen. At the same time, what gets you out of that, or what gives you a reason to still show up even when you're lacking motivation, even when you can't be fucked, whatever it may be, is because there's a purpose behind what you're doing, which relates to the goal you're trying to achieve. If we were to just go through life without setting any goals, we're just going to stay exactly where we are, and years are going to go by, weeks are going to go by, months are going to go by, and you're just going to sit there being like, kind of like, what the fuck am I doing with my life, eh? Like, what the actual fuck am I doing? And for some people that might be what they want to do. Slay queen, I don't fucking care. But for the girls that don't want to live that life, that want to take their physique, their results, their strength, even their lifestyle from average, because there's more fucking average people than not in the world, to the next fucking level, to be on average, to weapon level, you need to be setting goals and giving yourself purpose and intention with how you show up every single day. Goals are all individual. You want your goals to be something that aligns with your values. If you do not value doing photo shoots, if you do not value bodybuilding, if those are not going to be the fucking goals you set for yourself. What are your values? What does your life actually look like in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years time? What goals are you going to have to achieve in order to have the life that you want to live? And in terms of the goals that you're achieving as well, I would always recommend setting big long-term goals as well as some short-term goals, which is going to all kind of align and, you know, kind of correlate with each other. So it's like, for me personally, my big term goal is to compete. That's a slay. I've broken that down into shorter goals as well. Again, all of these are aligning with the values that I have, the visions I have for myself, what I want to be and the woman I want to be in a year's time, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years time. They're all going back to what I want for myself. The goals I've set out to achieve are not for any other person, in the sense where it's not because I want to make this person happy, I want to do it for this person. All the goals are for me. And that's a trap that I've definitely fallen into in the past years ago, where I've set goals or I've set out to achieve certain things in the hopes of making another person happy, in the hopes of pleasing someone else. And that always ends in a disaster, because one, you don't achieve it, because the times where you are feeling fucking motivated and not, you're just kind of like, it's not my goal, I don't really want to fucking do it. And it doesn't actually give you that fulfillment. It doesn't actually give you purpose like you think, because it's not your purpose. It's not actually your goal to fulfill you. So that's a really important note as well to think of. But that got me like really fired up, and I'm keen to fucking train. So we are gonna go train now. We got lower body on the menu. We actually can't film, or we can film at the gym, but you have to pay $70, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna do that. We're back home from the gym. Got brekkie at the gym as well. Look how cute. Pretty sure one of my clients gave this to me, my client, when I was doing face to face. So cute. Jackson is not slaying at the moment. He's been a little bit sick over the last day, so went for a walk to go get some more Panadol for him. Got myself a coffee. Coconut milk iced latte. Slaps. The weather is fucking beautiful today. So it's gonna be a pool day, obviously, and do some work by the pool. But to pick up our conversation from where we left off, we know we need to be setting goals to have purpose and direction and intention behind what we're doing to keep us moving forward. The big question is kind of, how does that happen? What do we do to get there? What do we need to do? What do we need to break down? How do we goal set? All the things. Now, depending on the goal you're looking to achieve, if you have more physique based goals, so you want to change your physique, you want to build muscle, you want to lose body fat, those sorts of things, you want to create yourself your own little roadmap, which is basically breaking down the goals into smaller achievable goals that will be on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, a yearly basis, depending on how big the goal is looking for you. So for example, if your goal is to build your best physique in 2025 and achieve the best physique you've ever had to date, it's like, what does that actually look like for you? Is that a physique that actually is leaner? Like, do you want to achieve a leaner physique by the end of the year? Do you want to build a stronger, more defined physique? Whatever that looks like, you want to then take a step back and be like, okay, what are the steps I need to take to be able to get there? That was very similar to the goal I had last year where I did my photo shoot. So the idea of that photo shoot was to show up on the day looking my absolute best, better than I ever had before, and to beat how I looked in my last photo shoot I did a few years ago. So to break that goal down, that meant having more muscle on me. That was part of that roadmap. Then that meant I also needed to get leaner for that photo shoot, because that was again part of the goal. I wanted to see a more shredded physique. I wanted to get as lean as I could and showcase all the muscle definition, that all the muscle mass that I've built over the last few months to get there. So my own roadmap looked like spending 6 to 12 months in a build phase, focusing on building muscle, getting really, really strong, and then transitioning that into a fat loss phase specific to the photo shoot prep. And that's how I broke that goal down. To break it down even more in that is setting like specific performance goals, especially when I was in that build phase. I had the calories, I had the food, the fuel to really make sure I was maximizing my time in the gym. So that was like setting goals to RDL 100 kilos, do bodyweight pull-ups for multiple reps. That looked like doing, what was my max? I think I got like 20 kilo bench press, like things like that. Like, so setting those goals in between, especially when you're in a build phase as well, just allows you to stack those wins more frequently, because when you're in a build phase, that process is a much slower process and as a whole, building and revealing your dream physique or your best physique today is a slower process. It doesn't happen overnight. So by breaking those goals down into smaller parts of your roadmap and then breaking that roadmap down even further to set little more milestone goals to hit every single day, every single week, makes that process a lot easier to stick to, because you know you're doing everything you need to every single day, every single session, every single week to get you to the bigger goal at the end of the day. And when you have goals set out like that and you break your big goals down into smaller, achievable, shorter term goals and create your own roadmap to get yourself there, the likelihood of you failing is very, 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 very minuscule, because you know the necessary steps that it is required to get you there. The reason why most goals fail is because they lack the plan to get them there, or the goals are not clear enough. So it's like, you know, they will say, I want to lose weight. Bitch, how much? What does that look like for you? Does that mean losing 20 kilos, 10 kilos, 5 kilos? Does that mean you want to have a leaner physique? Does that mean you just want to be less on the scale? Like, what does that actually mean? What's the time frame for it? When you do not have a specific goal that you want to achieve with a plan in place to get you there, you are going to fail miserably at achieving that goal. That is why a lot of people, when they set goals at the start of the year, don't achieve them, because they say off a fucking whim on a fucking Saturday at brunch with the girlies after a gym session, like, I'm going to grow my glutes. And then that's the conversation. How, what, when, why, where. You need to be specific in your goal. You need to be specific in the plan that's going to get you there. And if you're like, well, what the fuck is the plan? How the fuck do I do my roadmap? Like, this is all so overwhelming and confusing. This is why I built out the Weapons Academy, because we break down the entire process step by step to either reveal your best physique today or build your best physique today. So whether your goal is to lose body fat, build muscle, or maintain a physique you've already developed and still see progress long term, the Weapons Academy is designed to take you through the entire step-by-step process for you to achieve those goals. So if you're like, Kayla, I really want to build my glutes this year, you know, I want to build my best physique, I want to get stronger, and I want to do that over the next 8 months, where do I go? Come to the Weapons Academy. Okay, so we know how to set some goals, we know they need to be specific, and we know what we need to do to avoid failing at achieving our goals. But one thing we also need to make sure we're doing to ensure we are not failing at our goals, or we're not stopping ourselves from achieving them, is managing our expectations beforehand and understanding what is going to be required of you during the process. A lot of the times people set these really big, amazing goals and expect it to be an easy breezy, beautiful process. Expect there to be no hardships, no challenges, no obstacles, expect it to be a really, really smooth process. And this is when a lot of people will wait for the perfect time. There's never going to be a perfect time. And the thing is as well, when we set these really big goals, there's coming from a level of growth. Like, you know, we're setting a big goal because we want to change where we are at right now. We know we want to be better. We know we want to strive for more. We know we want to grow. And with growth comes discomfort. So a lot of the times people think setting a goal and achieving it and doing the process is going to be easy, but in reality, it's going to be fucking hard. You need to expect hardship to come with it. Otherwise, you are not growing. When the time does come into, you know, experiencing these hardships, experience those challenges, and maybe the days where you don't feel like going to the gym, maybe the days you don't feel like doing your meal prep, maybe the days where you're like, fuck it up, do I really need to track my food right now? Can I just go get a cookie from down the road? Like, whatever it may be, in those moments where it feels like the world is against you and it feels like a fucking mountain to climb, refer back to your why. So why you've even set this goal in the first place. And I'm not talking about this kind of surface level shit of like, I want to like build my dream physique and I want to look good and I want to feel hot and all the things. It's like, no, what's the real fucking reason behind it? Because you want to challenge yourself, because you know you can do better. You are holding yourself to a high standard. You want to prove to yourself you're capable of doing hard things. These are the deep rooted whys. It could be if you're a mother, it's like you want to show up and be a good role model for your kids. So the camera just died, really fucking rude. As I was saying, you need to go back to your why in order to allow yourself to overcome those hardships or overcome those challenges. It's like, if you pursue this goal in order to challenge yourself, seek growth, become better, prove to yourself that you can do hard things, the moments that are uncomfortable, the moments where you don't want to do the fucking thing, that's where you need to tie back into your why. You need to remind yourself of your why to keep moving you forward. When I did my photo shoot prep last year, there were times where I couldn't be fucked doing a lot of the things. There was times I didn't want to do the cardio, there was times I didn't want to eat the fucking chicken and rice I cooked for myself 3 days ago. I would have rather ordering Uber Eats. There were so many times where I didn't want to do these things and I felt the challenge of what I was doing. I felt the discomfort. I was hungry, I was tired. But if I I wanted to pursue this goal out of challenging myself and in order to do and be better, and because I wanted to see what I was capable of, I had to make those decisions to keep following through with the plan. If I didn't and I chose the easy option out, then I was going back on my why. I was not acting in integrity, and that would have done more harm in the process, and not even looking at the result wise. It's more like that would have deterred a lot of my confidence in my ability to be able to achieve these big goals that I set myself. So you always want to make sure you're tying it back into your why. And I love to do this with certain practices like journaling, for example. I've never been a big person to journal, never been a big journaler, but when I did my photo shoot prep last year, I got into the habit of setting more intentions and reminding myself of my goals, as opposed to like, today I'm feeling XYZ. So what I would do is write out the goals I'm setting out to achieve, and I'd say like, I am achieving XYZ. So that way I'm speaking it into existence, like I'm doing it, I'm achieving it. Like it's not I am going to achieve this one day. It's like, no, I'm achieving it right now. And then I would set my intentions underneath it to align with the goal that I was working towards. So with the photo shoot, for example, it's like, I am getting in the best shape of my life. It's like, what are my intentions for the day? I'm going to make sure I eat with no distractions so I can fuel my body and ensure my digestion's working well. I'm going to go for a walk in between my work breaks so I can get my movement in, get my steps in, and also take a break from work itself. I'm making sure my intentions for the day are all going to align with the goal at hand, which then allows me to show up in the best way I know how and achieve the goals I've set for myself. When I tell you it is hot, it is so fucking hot. You guys are on an angle. We ordered a bunch of meal preps when we got here. This is the second time we've ordered some from Pump Kitchens, and it's a huge slate. All very high in protein, very, very macro friendly meals. So this is the beef bulgogi. Butchered that hard. Basically like beef strips, rice and kimchi. These have been really, really helpful and very, very cost efficient as well. And it's in alignment with my goals, which makes it 100 times better, because we're working towards some big shit this year and I don't really have time to waste 3 weeks of just eating like a dickhead. So we are still enjoying some meals out, having some fun things here and there, but for the most part a lot of my meals are still tracked, they're still accounted for, and they're still in alignment with the goals, which we're going to be touching on now once I reheat this again because it's still cold. I'm really hoping the lighting is okay here. I don't know if you can see it. Rice, kimchi, and beef. This is the first time I'm trying this flavor. It smells pretty lit. Which kimchi looks spicy. That's definitely like spicier kimchi than I would normally get back home, but that's pretty good. Before we get into my goals, I want to speak to you about this fucking book. Since I've been back into reading in like the last, I'd say like 2 years, I've been reading all personal development books or some level of business book where it's all in the idea of upskilling in order to do better, learning how I can be a better person, all that sorts of stuff. I haven't read any fiction. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Books where, you know, I'm just reading characters like it's not true, all those sorts of things. But on this holiday and in general, whenever I get to spend time in the sun, like if I get to lay by the pool or the beach, I love reading. I find it really, really relaxing and it helps me switch off. Like I don't want to be sitting on my phone the whole time, but I wanted to take a break from reading always personal development books, because same thing, like I'm not really switching off. It's still like putting me in the mindset of like, okay, let's go do this, let's go do that, let's go overhaul my life. So I wanted something that I can just like brain rot without necessarily scrolling on TikTok. Anyway, we bought this book, Twisted Love. My fucking bookmarks are the receipts, and I am obsessed. I fucking loved it. It was very, very spicy book, so much drama, and you just like reading it and you're like, this just like is so fake, but like it's giving reality TV. I love reality TV where it's just like you read it or you watch it, you're just kind of like, bruh, this is like so fun. Keeps you drawn in. That was this book, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. Exposing myself so hard, but back in the day when like Tumblr was a huge thing, I'm actually really embarrassed talking about this, but you know, like fan fiction sort of vibes, like smut sort of vibes, that's this book, and it just kind of brought me back. It was spicy, it was wild, it was the perfect thing that got me switched off, and like I literally was hooked. Like see me floating around the pool, fucking reading my book there, reading my book up here, everywhere, because it was just so good. So really I didn't buy the whole series because you could buy like all 4 books. I think there's 4, but I was like, oh, I'll just buy the first one because I don't know if I'm gonna like it. I fucking loved it. So when I get back home, I will definitely be buying all the other books. I digress. Let's talk about my goals because we have some updates. So big personal goal that we are working towards and have been working towards basically for the last 12 months is stepping on stage. I have locked in show dates as well with my coach, so we basically have the next 10 months mapped out. First show is in September, and then the 2 shows that I want to do are also in October. So we're doing 3 shows total. So prep will start in like May, which is fucking wild. So That's my big personal goal in terms of like health, fitness, physique. We also have quite a few business goals we are working towards, building out the Weapons Academy to create just this massive fuck off community of unstoppable fucking weapons all around the world. So that's a big business one. There's also a few more, just like keep growing and improving my service one-to-one. We're potentially looking at expanding the business or stuff in business as we get bigger and as we grow and all those sorts of things. There's also a couple other things in the work me and Jackson are working towards, which are yet to be announced, yet to be public, so stay tuned for that. Consistently showing up on YouTube, so doing one video a week and committing to that this year, setting up a bit of a schedule with that, so making sure I am consistent very much like I am already with content on social media and things like that. So yeah, keep growing YouTube, keep growing Instagram, podcasts on the cards, retreats on the cards. There's a lot going to be happening and a lot of big things that we are working towards for the year, and it gets me really, really excited. But I feel like it's like relevant to this YouTube channel would be my bodybuilding competition, and why am I competing, or like what's the why behind it. And for such an extreme sport like bodybuilding, you definitely want to have a really solid why behind it, because I know some people can get into the sport for wrong reasons. And like competing has always been on my mind for a very long time, but the last time I really considered it, I was in a place where if I were to have done it, it would have done more harm than good, and it wasn't for the reasons of being better, seeing what I'm capable of, and doing it from a place of like, you have this ability to really do well. It was more of a self-destructive place, or a more negative place, where it was like I didn't feel good enough at that time, and I was hoping that would fill a void in my heart sort of vibe. But we didn't go through with that, obviously. Where I'm at now, mentally, physically, even like emotionally with my relationships and things like that, I feel like I'm in a very good place where I have the ability to pursue this goal and feel very supported from the people around me. The way I've set up my lifestyle is very like complementing of what I want to do as well. Very similar to what I do now, except we're really turning up the dials a lot more. So like it's not a big shift from my lifestyle, and even just like my own sort of relationship I have with myself, it's coming from a place of like you do so well at this, like you show up every single day, you have this undeniable amount of fucking determination, resilience, and you will do whatever it takes to be your best. Let's give yourself this challenge, an opportunity to showcase you being your absolute best. And even like when I look back on when I was younger, like I was always really good at sports. Like I definitely did well in a lot of sports that I played, but I never pursued greatness in it. It was like, oh, I'm good at this, could do better, but like I got comfortable with just doing good, so I stayed doing good. Whereas this is like, okay, I train consistently, I know I can strive for better in the gym, and I do strive for better in the gym. I've done a few photo shoots, I've done the preps for them. It was a challenge, but I'm like, I know I am capable of so much more. I know I have the ability to do really, really well at this, and I want to give myself the opportunity to showcase that and enjoy the process of doing it. You're going to learn so much about yourself. You're going to build a really intense relationship with yourself, because I'm going to have to build so much self-trust in order for me to achieve this goal. So that's the why behind it. And I'm fucking so excited. Like when my coach was messaging me yesterday about like timelines and shit, I was like to Jax, I was like, fuck, this is real now. Like we have dates. So yeah, it's crazy. But tying into one of the questions we spoke about earlier is like what to do when you manage, or like how am I going to manage like self-doubt, or how to manage self-doubt, because it's going to be present. Like there's going to be times where I'm going to be like, what the fuck am I doing? Am I even capable of doing this? And it's very much just, again, understanding the why. It's like I wanted to be challenged, I wanted growth out of this, I wanted to uncover what I'm actually capable of. And those hard days I'm going to experience, those challenging days, the days I'm like, fuck, is this even worth it? Those are the days I was actually searching for in this process, because I want to be challenged, I want to show what I'm capable of. So on those hard days is reminding myself of my why then, and also incorporating other practices I know will be really beneficial then. Also now as well, so still doing my journaling, writing out my goals, my intentions for the day, keep eating with no distractions, not going on my phone first thing in the morning or just before bed, getting outside and being active, getting out in the sun, and making sure that my lifestyle habits are set up before, because I don't want this just to be something I do in prep. It's like I want to improve my lifestyle everywhere. So it's like, how can I make sure I'm doing that now, so that when the time comes during prep where I am experiencing these hardships, I've already have those processes in place for me to overcome them without having to scramble and think like, fuck, like what am I going to do in that time? And there's no doubt there's probably going to be some tears, there's probably going to be some NTBs. My partner Jackson is going to have to cop probably some emotional times, but I know I have his full support, I have my family's full support, and by making sure I'm looking after myself now and putting in those processes now, it's going to alleviate a lot of that as well when the time comes. So that is that, and I hope that was helpful in any way, shape or form. I cannot see myself in the like little viewfinder, so I really fucking hope this lighting is okay. I probably look like a little wet mole rat, but it's fine. But that's pretty much everything for this vlog. Not gonna lie, this is the second time I'm filming this vlog because I just did not know how to approach it. I tried to film it last week and it was just like overthinking. This isn't good enough. This isn't engaging enough, all the things. So I'm glad I refilmed it because I feel like I got to express myself a lot easier and there was a lot more value I got to provide in this. I was a lot more myself as well. I was editing the footage, was it last night or the night before? And I was like, there's just absolutely no way I'm putting this on the internet. Like I was a sod. Like there's just no way. That's not me. So I'm glad I got to refilm it, and I hope you enjoy this video as well. I would love to hear your feedback as well, whether you DM me on Instagram saying like, hey, love the video, or you comment below. I appreciate your feedback so much because it's going to help me just really guide this channel where I want it to be as well. I appreciate feedback. I love to hear it, and I want to know how I can best help you on your journey as well. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, comment your thoughts, make sure you subscribe to the channel as well, and I look forward to bringing you along on this big ass journey that we have for 2025 and beyond. Illy, have a lovely morning, evening, night, or wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in the next one.